Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be building a Mazda Cosmo competitor. Yeah, this is the body we're going to be using. It's the year 1981, and we're not just making any Mazda Cosmo competitor. We're making a competitor to the Mazda Cosmo HB, which is, I believe, the third generation, and in some cases also known as the Mazda Cosmo 929, right? Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, please. So yeah, I'll pop a few pictures on screen if I remember, and if you're not as lazy as me and I forget, then go ahead and look it up if you want to. Anyways, we're gonna start off, so basically 270 horsepower. We're not gonna build the actual Japanese domestic version, I guess. We're gonna build the export version, which means it's gonna be more of a sporty version, have a little bit more horsepower than the base version. We're gonna go for maybe a bit less than 270 horsepower, but we'll see where we get. So we're gonna have a partial aluminum panel material, space frame. Chassis material is just gonna be steel, and we're gonna go for a front longitudinal engine. In the front, we're going to have double wishbone suspension, and in the rear, semi-trailing arm. And that's fine. We're also going for around 20 to 30,000, but more like 25 to 30,000 because this is, I guess, sort of the performance model. We're going to go for an inline 4. The block material is going to be cast iron, and we want this to be a 2-liter. So this is perfectly fine. Yeah, we're going to go with an overhead cam 2-valve, and the head material is going to be aluminum. Yep, we'll move on to the next one over here. I'm just going to make this all cast for right now, just because that's the easiest, and then I'll put in whatever we need later. Which may also mean potentially upping the quality a little bit. I'll touch all that later, but we definitely want it to rev high. I say at least around 6,800 to 7,500 RPM. That would be great. Anyways, we are going to have a turbocharger, and I'm going to use the Eco preset on that. We can't put a preset on it right now, and I'm not going to change everything, so it's going to look pretty huge. We're going to go for mechanical fuel injection per cylinder on this thing. We go performance high intake manifold, and then we'll put that down to 40 because we want it to be a regular car. We're gonna put actually premium fuel into that. I think seems like a good idea. So we're gonna put a turbo mid, once again lowering the size a bit down on that. We're gonna have a single exhaust, which means we'll probably have to increase the size of the exhaust. We're gonna get a 3-way catalytic converter, and then we'll go with baffled and reverse flow maybe. So right now it's being failed to valve float, and that's probably because we just want to change our this thing a little bit, and now it never seems to load with me, so I'll just need to quickly reload the game. Here's our engine. As you can see, we have just shy of 179 horsepower, and we rev to 6,300 RPM, which is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I kind of wanted it to be a bit better, but you know what? I'm fine with this as it is. Yeah. We'll move on to the next panel. Now, obviously, I do need to do a bit of work on this before it actually looks like, the Mazda Cosmo HB. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, I'll do that in a sec, right? But for right now, we're going to go ahead and design this. So we're going to put on a rear-wheel drive, and I'm actually going to make it a manual 5-speed. Yeah, so not a 4-speed, no, it's going to be a 5-speed, yeah, because I want this to be kind of a higher quality model. 225 kilometers per hour top speed. I'm pretty happy with that. That's pretty nice. So now some of these models came with an LSD, so I'll put on an LSD, but I'll just put on a clutched LSD, just like that. That should be fine. Anyways, we're going to put on radial medium compound tires. That should be fine. We're actually going to give it magnesium rims. We want the tire width I'm not sure. Maybe we want like 180s in the front and 200s in the rear. Maybe 190s and 190s. Nah, 190s and 200s actually. You know what? I'll do that. As for this, let's give it some pretty large rims, and then let's make tires a little bit bigger as well. There we go. Now these tires, if we import it into BeamNG like this, it's going to look like it's floating. So we want to increase the offset here a little bit. There we go. Maybe not that much. That should be fine, I think. Yeah, we'll put that to 40. That's nice. As I said, magnesium rims. There we go. So we're actually going to give this guy solid discs, 2-piston, front and rear, and then these are going to be reasonably small. These are going to be 280s. And you know, we'll obviously have to see how this holds up against automation standards, and we might need to increase them a little. As for aerodynamics, we're not going to get an under tray or anything like that, so it's going to be a 5-seater. That's perfectly fine. Now I'm going to give it a premium interior and a standard cassette because you know, the Mazda Cosmo HB, it was kind of marketed and stuff like that as a premium vehicle. And now obviously it's not the highest of the highest quality, but I do want to give it a really nice looking interior, as that's basically what it was marketed as, yeah. And then we are going to go for just a standard cassette, not a premium one. So we're going to go with manual rack and pinion steering. I don't think we're going to give it ABS, although we might. You know what? I'll check what the cost is, and if we have, you know, if we're you know, under budget by a bit, then I'll put on ABS. Anyways, we're gonna go with probably actually no, standard safety seems fine to me, and we'll up the quality by 1 on that. This seems pretty good. How much do we weigh? 1200. That is really, really good. We weigh around 1,000 kilograms, or is that like 1,700 pounds? No, it's gonna be 1,500 pounds. I don't even know, to be honest. You know, with progressive progressive springs. I'll do that, and then we'll see what does it cost us. It's costing us 16 grand. That's amazing. So then we can definitely afford the progressive springs right here. Definitely very happy with that. So we're going to go for a bit of a normal preset, and then I'm just going to increase all this by it a little. There we go, because otherwise it's going to bottom out in BeamNG like it literally always does. Yeah. So that's pretty nice. Let's look at the mileage. Oh, this is pretty good. 12.1 liters per 100 kilometers. That's actually 2 liters per 100 kilometer better than the oh my god, I'm losing it, than the Mazda Cosmo. Okay, so we're a bit under budget, so I'm gonna put on ABS. Now the brakes suffer from brake fade, which isn't really a surprise. Lack of power steering, we're not going to put on power steering though. So let's take a look at the brakes. The rear brakes are crazy good. So we'll decrease those to 1 piston, and then we'll put 3 pistons in the front. Yeah, seems pretty good. Do we have brake fade? Yeah, so we do have brake fade. So we'll make these 300s. Do we still have brake fade? We don't have brake fade anymore. Okay, then it's fine. Then we're just gonna decrease the rear force to like 50. Yeah, 50 is fine. Then we'll increase the front force to 110s because we do want some pretty good brakes. Brake force is high. I don't really care. The brakes so slight brake fade, so then we'll put this up by 5, and then maybe reduce this by 4. There we go. Reduce that by 2. That should be fine then. Brakes still show slight brake fade. You know what? I think we're going to be able to live with that. Don't you think? Oh yeah, now I was going to put on, going to give it some ABS. There we go. You know, and then we'll actually pop in 2 quality for the steering, because we don't have power steering, but so I will put in a tiny bit of quality. We might then actually go for advanced 80s safety. Still under 20 grand, and honestly I'm really happy with that. So yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and design this. Finally, here we have it, the Kimiyochi CXA, and then the trim is 2. Yeah, pretty nice, right? Kimiyochi is basically my JDM Japanese brand, kind of, which I guess makes sense on this car, right? Anyways, here you can see it, bit of a look around. Of course, most of the detail is focusing on the front. I definitely tried to do to make the front as detailed as possible. The rear, I feel like I feel like it's as detailed as I could really make it. I could have added other things, but that's hard because you place them on the body and not onto the bumper itself and stuff like that. Anyways, of course, let me know what you think. You can actually download this car as well. I'm through my Discord server. There's a link to my Discord server in the description, and through my Discord server you can download this car as well as every other car I've ever built on this channel. Yeah. Right over here we got actually the dealership plates. Yeah, of course we've got the these headlights, right? I'm not sure what happened here. That's not good. If you don't look too closely, you don't notice it though, so that's fine. Here we got a bit of a small front grille in between these lights over here. A pretty large front splitter slash fender, yeah, splitter basically, with another small grille on it. Blinkers there, blinkers here. In the rear, I think we got a really cool design on the blinkers, which you don't have in the original Cosmo. Also, I was contemplating putting the mirrors here, which you do have in some models of the Cosmo, but I decided kind of against it, and I just realized I forgot something. Here we go. I fixed it. Do you see the difference right here? Yep, I've actually made the rear window one continuously long window. From some angles and automation here, it looks kind of weird, but I can assure you that for once it'll actually look better in beamng than automation. For the rest, we can look at the testing over here. We cost 21,000. Sorry, 21,000. So that's definitely pretty good. Really happy with that. That's a really reasonable price. As for the fuel economy, 11.9 liters per 100 kilometers. I think that's like 15 miles per gallon. So that's pretty bad. But, you know, that's fine, right? I mean, you kind of get what you pay for. For the rest, we're absolutely ready to go into beamng. Here it is, the Kimyochi something 2. Very nice, right? Here it is. It imported really well. I really like the import. As you can see, the windows are looking just fine here in the import. Or actually, they're really blacked out. You can't even see through them. We'll ignore that. Anyways, here you can see it drive. And honestly, according to me, it drives really well. So yeah, of course, so we can brake a little. If you're just starting off from neutral, and then you'll have to wait a bit for the turbos to kick in and stuff, and then you can basically just smash gears. Then you're doing well. Then it's almost like a race car. Oh, it oversteers a little bit. Not too bad though. Definitely something that I feel like we can live with. It's pretty fast, but something I also definitely like is the fact that it's, well, it feels really realistically fast. Not like some supercars you might sometimes build and then, you know, them immediately going like 0 to 100 in 2.9 seconds. It feels really realistic to drive, and it handles incredibly as well. Apart from the oversteer, of course. But the oversteer is not too bad, he says, as he almost dies to oversteer. You know, we can just drive it up here. If you're wondering why we're actually in Utah out of all the maps, is because, well, Utah's basically kind of my favorite map, I guess. And I always test out my cars here first. And you know what, because this is almost kind of a race car, it's definitely not like a base model Mazda Cosmo competitor. It's more like a completely fleshed out one, because obviously it's got the small spoiler, it's got, well, yeah, wing, not, yeah, spoiler, yeah. It's got the, I feel like it's got a longer rear bumper, larger front splitter, kinda. It actually has a front splitter, kind of, and it's also got some side skirts. So you know, and the front is a bit more aggressive as well, I feel like, than a base model would be. But yeah, it also has 204 horsepower, so it does make sense. Also, the rims are definitely not stock either. Yeah, so it's basically just like kind of an you know, yeah, just a more fleshed out model, right? Maybe someone bought this and then got a few kits. Also, look at this. The handbraking is really weird. So, take a look at the rear, and then look what happens when you turn on the handbrake. Yeah. So, like when you hit the handbrake, the rear suspension, it goes all the way down randomly. I can just accelerate a bit more, and you'll see that that doesn't happen when I brake normally, but it does happen when you hit the handbrake. So yeah, that's pretty weird. Anyways, I think I might just test like the quarter mile and 0 to 60 on this, and then we can take it to the track. Here we are. You'll probably recognize the drag strip, right? What happened to our front lights? That's kind of weird. If I reset, is it? Nope, still weird. Oh well. Anyways, I've actually got a weight pad here, a scale, because we're supposedly really light. In automation, we were only 1,200 kilograms, which off the top of my head, ballpark is like 2,500 pounds. Yeah, so I want to see what we actually weigh here in automation. So let's go. Let's step on the scale. There we go, 1,273 kilograms, which is 2,800 pounds. That is incredibly light. Yeah, that's pretty incredibly light. Definitely. Okay. Well, we can just head off of that, not crashing into the wall there. Then we can head over here and we'll do a 0 to 60 test. I've already done a few tries, so I know just about, what we'll probably get. Anyways, you basically just want to launch it at max revs, just like this. There we go. You want to keep it revving as high as possible. It just reaches it in second gear, and this is a time of 5.77 seconds, and that's pretty much basically one of the better times I've gotten, just about the same as all the other times as well. And now I might as well do a quarter mile too, right? Here we are on the drag strip, ready for the quarter mile. Let's see how we do. There we go. Could have probably had a better launch, but the launch is pretty terrible anyways in general. Because of, the turbo lag. But once we're in the high revs, we're doing pretty well. That's a 14.378, which is apparently my best time. I'm not sure where all my other times have gone, but that's all right. We just got the best time ever on the drag strip, so that's of course amazing. That's insane. That's unheard of, especially in a 204 horsepower car. 204 or 224, something like that. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but there we go. We'll head into free roam. Here we are. That's 14. Definitely not an amazing drag strip time. However, I'm pretty happy with it for this car. I feel like if we had a better launch, maybe if we had all-wheel drive, we could do that. Or launch control, although that's not actually an option in the 1980s. Oh, that's we're gonna head right over to the racetrack. Here we are on the automation test track, of course. Right, of course we're on the automation test track. Could have done a bit of a better shifting job there, but that's fine. So this car, it handles incredibly well, apart from the fact that it terminally oversteers, like pretty badly. It oversteers in the high rev ranges, which is also where it makes by far the most power and torque, mainly because of the pretty extreme turbo lag, right? But we're all used to that. It's automation, so that's why you might feel like I'm being pretty cautious whilst driving this thing, because you can download it for yourself through my Discord. It's way too easy to lose control. Anyways, here we should just be able to smash it, maybe even break 200 on this straight. We'll see, of course. Yeah, I reckon we can break 200. Come on. Yes, we can. Okay, that's pretty nice. I'm gonna brake a bit for this turn because oversteer and losing control, stuff like that. Accelerate a fair bit here again, and here we're just gonna wanna, slow down a bit. The brakes are really good as well, especially for a car like this, 20 grand for this car. The brakes are amazing. Like, you could buy this just for the fact that the brakes are never going to let you down. See, look there once again, braking way too early because I'm not used to that. I am, like, I'm definitely not used to brakes that are that good. Um, Especially not in my cars. The brakes feel so perfectly tuned. I like it a lot. Oh, almost losing control there. That's fine though. There we go, through the turn. And then we're now approaching the end of the circuit. Here we are. Let's slow down a bit once again here. I reckon with probably a bit more practice I could get a better time, especially getting a bit more of the hang of the fact that the brakes are actually good. But I'm genuinely really happy with this car. Also really happy with the design, the way it turned out, everything really. If you have any feedback, constructive criticism, please leave that down in the comments below, of course. And apparently we didn't qualify. Um, I'm not sure for what we had to qualify in the first place, but it's also not really a good time either way. Um, but you know what? That's fine. Thank you guys ever so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye bye.